Hey guys, Delora Dabbles here. Update video and all of that. A couple weeks ago, Fred chewed my webcam, and I just got this one, I think last week sometime. But I also got sick last week, and let me just say, it is super unnerving to get sick in the middle of a pandemic. It's very unnerving. I still don't know what I had because the flu test came back negative. Now, the flu test that they swab you for only tests for influenza A and B, and there are so many strains of flu, so it could have still been the flu. We just don't know. I had shortness of breath pretty bad. So bad that I got one of those finger oximeter thingies from Walgreens. They're like $40, and it'll tell you your heart rate and your blood oxygen level. So I got one of those just because I was so freaked out. And when you're anxious, you can't tell if you're breathing too much or not breathing enough. You just can't tell. So it was good to have that. Um, of course, I was fine. Everything's good. There's just no way of knowing whether I had it or not, which kind of sucks because if I knew I had it, I would be able to, like for one, know and have peace of mind and be like, oh, okay, I did have it and now I won't get it again. Or be like, oh, okay, no, that must have been the flu or something. I didn't get it yet. It would give you peace of mind. Now, there's not enough tests to go around just for us to have peace of mind. We're in the middle of a pandemic, so we don't have that luxury of peace of mind anymore, which is, it's something to wrap your head around. But the other thing is that they're just not testing people as young as me. I'm 26. So they're just not testing 26-year-olds without underlying health conditions. And I had no complications, so it's just kind of like, well, why are you here? Like, why do you want to test? What's going on? But I think it's a mistake to absolutely not test any of us younger folks who very well may have it. Um, Simply because I keep watching on social media how they can take plasma from someone who's had it and fought it off, and they can give that plasma to older people, and it will help them fight it off better. But how will I know that I had it and I have the antibodies for it and can donate my plasma if you never test me? So once more tests become available, I am hoping that we will start to see more people take advantage of donating their plasma for the older people who may have it, and share the good old antibodies that we have or may have, because I don't know if I had it or not. So, yeah. Anyway, it's just something that I think about during all of this. Anyway, so to keep myself sane while I was sick and everything, I literally, I was knitting and watching Netflix the entire time. I binge watched so many things over the course of those few days. Um, Altered Carbon is so good. If you like sci-fi noir detective shit, that is so good. Altered Carbon. Anyway, um, yeah, so I had started these socks months ago, and I'm just giving you guys an update on all my crafty stuff now. So I started this months ago and never really finished it. So whenever I got sick, I finished the toe, started the second one, and so that I have the full pair now. Started and finished another project, a shawl. Now, usually I'm the kind of person that I'll put on music or I'll listen to a podcast or I'll just sit and knit. Like I don't usually watch TV while I knit, but whenever I do watch TV while I knit, I want something really, really simple like this. Oh, no, this is the Winslow, Arizona sock pattern on Ravelry. This is the Reyna shawl, Reyna, Reyna shawl. Very beautiful shawl. It blocked quite nicely, and I mean, it looks pretty good. Super pretty. And it's gonna keep my neck and my cleavage very warm in the wintertime. Yeah, I was joking with somebody. I was like, "Oh yeah, and I knit a shawl that I'm never going to wear." And they were like, "Oh no. You should wear it next time we hang out." It's like I won't need it. But I just love this is like the perfect little babushka shawl. I'm a little babushka now. Anyway, I've been doing some other stuff. Spinning. So, I am spinning a 2-ply merino, and this is very, very thin. Let me see where there it is. I love to spin very thin when I have nothing better to do. Oh, that's unsettling. Where's the... Oh, there it is. Okay. So I was pulling both strings out at once. See how tiny it is? Super tiny. I love to spin super, super, super tiny. That's like my thing. So yeah, this is just going to be a 2-ply. I'm probably going to knit something lace out of it since it is merino. And I love engineering like the perfect yarn for the perfect thing, you know? So like a lace shawl, you really do want 2-ply merino like this. Socks, you really do want a 3-ply with nylon in it. So this is nylon, alpaca, and Corriedale, so it's super, super warm. And like I engineered it like perfectly. It's also a crepe yarn, which gives it a bit more elasticity to it. A crepe yarn is just, in simple terms, you ply a 2-ply with a single ply to make a 3-ply. Instead of spinning just 3 together, spin 2, and then you spin the 2 with the 1. And it makes it more elasticy and more durable as well, but also quite pretty. The spinning community went crazy for crepe yarn a few months ago. So I had to try my hand at it. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing to stay sane. It's been very helpful, honestly. Any craft or artsy endeavor, I feel like always brings me back to baseline, and I hope that it does the same for you guys as well. Not all of my projects have been a success though, obviously. So this is the start of a knitted sweater dress, like a hooded knitted sweater dress. As you can see, this is where the hood is supposed to meet. This is just so dark. I'm sorry. This is where the hood meets the shoulder. As you can see, my head is a lot bigger than this hood. If I were to put it on, you'd see more of what I'm talking about, because this right here is supposed to be down here, and it's up here. It's a big problem. So either my yarn is too small, like I'm spinning with too small of a yarn diameter, because this is a, what pattern is this? This is the Galadriel hooded dress. I believe it's from the Literary Knits book. I scanned the pattern out of the book because I checked it out of the library back in high school. So I've got this scanned copy of the pattern, and it calls for 2 fingering weight yarns held together. 2 fingering weight yarns held together equals a sport weight yarn, and some people argue between sport weight or DK weight. I'm going to go up a needle size to a size 9, and if I don't get gauge with a size 9, I will go up to a DK weight yarn, which means that I will know for next time to buy DK weight yarn instead of sport weight yarn. But for now, I have 13 skeins of this yarn, so I will probably put this on the back burner again and just knit something that takes sport weight yarn, a sweater that takes sport weight. Yeah, so this is going to have to be frogged at some point, but I just don't have the heart to frog it yet. I will say the Galadriel hooded dress pattern is very fucking complicated. It is definitely an intermediate to expert level, just the hood arrangement by itself, because you knit this part, and then you knit this part a little bit, probably like to here, and then you knit this part, and then you turn it back around, and then you knit this part off the hood. So it's like very much in crazy seamed up pieces It's a very interesting pattern design. It's very ingeniously done, but that does make it difficult for normal people, intermediate level people, and moderate spinners. But I have been wanting this hooded dress for so long that, like, it's gonna happen. If I need a DK weight yarn, I have 2 pounds of Corriedale. I will just fucking spin it. Like, I am not above just sitting there and spinning out a yarn to use, and then I'll have a hand-spun hand-knit sweater because I'm that fucking eccentric. But honestly, if I go that route, what I'm probably going to do is just knit 2 fingering weight singles and double ply them together. That way it's as close to the original as possible, because what they want you to do with the Galadriel hooded dress is have a regular fingering weight yarn and then a kind of fluffy, halo-y fingering weight yarn. So they used brushed Surrey alpaca, but you could easily use any fingering weight yarn that has a brushed halo effect on it. Now, what I would do is I would probably just knit 2 fingering weights and then spin those together into a 2-ply and just have a 2-ply DK weight yarn. Anyway, yeah, so we'll see how it goes. But this might not be happening anytime soon, which is a little sad. But I do have plenty of sweater projects that I've been wanting to do. So maybe I will do one of those instead, and we'll see. I did dye some wool today. They are all still wet, so I'll probably just show you guys the finished rollags whenever I blend them all together. But I will say for now, I had to do a little bit of finagling this week because my blending board, I don't know what happened to my brush that goes to my blending board. So I have the board and I have the 2 rods, but I don't have the brush. But I bought a baby brush from HEB, and luckily they freaking had baby brushes. So I will be using this instead of my blending board brush, which this is basically just the same kind of brush. You can use a baby brush, a horse brush, any brush that has soft bristles like this on it, you can use with your blending board. It doesn't have to be the exact brush that came with your board. It just looks nice when you do. So this is why I haven't really been doing my rollags lately, is because I have no idea what happened to that brush. I keep trying to find it. I have even broke out my Lenormand and my tarot cards to try to find this goddamn brush. And lo and behold, I fucking gave up and was like, nah, I want this project done now. Watch me, though, find that fucking brush in the next couple days after I've already bought a replacement. This replacement only cost me $3, so not a big deal. And it came with a baby comb as well, which my cats love this comb. I was just like playing with my cat. I was messing around with Brad, and I was just kind of combing him, and he was like, "Oh my god, yes." You know how cats do. Anyway. So my cats love the little baby comb that came with the baby brush. So that's always a plus. Anytime I can please my cats, it's always a plus. I hope that I managed to entertain you, maybe distract you a little bit, or inspire you to get back into whatever your craft is, or maybe inspire you to knit or spin as well, if that is also what you are into. And until next time, which might actually be sooner than just a week. I'll see. I might decide to take this time off of work to just make a ton of videos. We'll see how it goes. But until next time, and I don't know when that is, but next time, happy dabbling and bye-bye.